Okay guys, a little bit late to the party here. We've had about 20 minutes since the entry candle. What I will do is I will put a little bit of the video just when I got into the trade. However, there is no talking on that section of the video because I was on a Skype call. Obviously I can't talk through the video and the Skype call at the same time, so I was just basically managing the trade. Not really doing anything, we just gotten into the potential entry, and the market hasn't really gone anywhere as yet. So coming into this morning, had sloping resistance lines on this market. Now we came up and we tested up here pretty much perfectly, right at this sloping resistance. We also had the MA200 simple moving average. We just didn't get the signal I was looking for. We got this engulfing candle right here. I didn't get a good trigger, and by the time we got to here, I was also a little bit concerned that the entry would come straight onto this whole section of price action from overnight trading, where the market has just sort of been bouncing sideways, creating a pretty solid potential swing point. Now the market then came down, it's bounced, it's came down, it's tried to bounce again, and then we've had the rejection candle. And this rejection candle is starting to come through these swings. So what I was looking at was we've had the move down, we've had a nice pullback, and then we've seen the rejection coming in, potentially breaking down below these swings. Breaking down below these swings. It's lining up with the rejection off of sloping resistance. We had the moving average in there as a little bit of an added confluence. So I was happy to look for the potential short position, really back down at least into this zone down below. So with this sloping resistance, what I've actually done, do I have the Sunday video? So the Sunday video, if I get rid of this, we've got the channel, the trend channel. However, coming into today, what I was looking at was potentially, there's also just a little bit tighter, sitting at these levels. And then when I seen that, we had the rejection coming in at this key zone that we went over in the Sunday video. Looking for potential weakness, basically lining up with this previous swing point. So as soon as I seen this and coming down, what I was looking for was potentially we're going to see a stronger correction back down toward these previous candles where we've had a little bit of holding price action, and really this very key support level down here at 7,500. So I was looking for a potential short. As the market came down and we got the bounce and the bounce, we've got the nice strong rejection. I was happy to get into the sell position, and I'm looking for that move down into the zone down below where we have a fairly flat section down here, which would act as potential support if we do see the market coming down. Very likely I'll just look to take profits at this area, but we'll see how we get on with the trade. Really, up here is where I wanted to get in, but we've now had a couple of bounces. We've got the potential entry. I was happy to get into the short position, so we will see how we get on. So we're just sitting at the break-even level at present. We've had a nice strong move down at 5 past 10. The rejection is continuing to come into the market, which is obviously a good sign. Really, I'm still looking for this move down into the zone down below, really toward this level of structure down here. The market came up and tested sloping resistance. We then broke down, came back up, retested at the structure. We then came down, pulled back up to retest at structure. So the market is on the 5-minute time frame, so intraday, still giving us those downtrending movements. Yeah, I'm still happy to be in the trade. Obviously, as I've mentioned, I would have liked to have gotten in up here, really this engulfing candle, or if we'd had some sort of signal up here, it would have been perfect, but we just didn't get it. So instead, I was looking for any sort of nice signals down here. We had a couple of bounces, nice breakdown, sitting below this level of structure. It lined up pretty well. Looking for, hopefully, a relatively easy breakdown now that we've started to produce strong bearish candles. Okay, so we're just having a little bit of a bounce just as we're coming down towards this zone underneath. The market is still, let me just cancel that one. The market is still making nice bearish movements. So I am still holding on, looking for that move back down toward these previous levels of structure. We don't really have a lot of structure after this strong move up until we start getting down into this whole level here. So I'm happy that Potentially, the market has another bearish movement to make before we see the buyers starting to step back in or attempting to step back in. So target remains at these same levels. It's just, it's just part of the risk you have to take as the market starts to come down. I'm just looking to see what it's telling me. It's telling me so far it's still making those lower highs. It's failing to close and break any higher. So as long as it's still doing this, I'm happy to look for the target. If we just mark up the bottom levels also, we can see we actually have a little bit of a trend channel. So we may have to make another couple of bounces before we come down to test this level. And then the risk is obviously that we come down and we bounce and we find the strength to start breaking up above the trend resistance line. But at present, yeah, happy to wait for that move down to key structure. Markets now making repeated tests of the sloping resistance level. We'd have a few rejections so far. What I'm really looking at is if we start to break up. If we're starting to break up above this swing point here at really 7,580, if we start seeing the market pressing up and closing up above there, it would obviously be the sign that this downward movement for me is no longer valid, and I would then come out of the trade and look for a potential different entry as we started to test into this level. But at present, I'm still happy to be in. We're just testing at sloping resistance. Spikes through are okay. It's really if we start seeing the closes up here that I would want to come out of the trade. Still looking for or hoping for that rejection and the move back down to these key levels. Okay, the market is back down toward the target levels. If we see it pressing down into sloping support or horizontal support, I will just look to take profits. Now, as the market was pressing back up to test at this sloping resistance level, what we can see is the market spiking up above and then closing with a very strong bullish candle. And what it's doing is it's trying to shake out sellers. So as the market starts to break up above, or as you see this very strong close here, a lot of sellers are going to close out their sell position because they think the market is starting to break up above the sloping resistance and it's going to turn bullish. And then what, unfortunately, quite a lot of them also do is as it starts to do this, they close out their sell position and then they also look to enter into a buy position. Now on top of that, as it's starting to break up like this, it's triggering in breakout traders looking to get long on the market. You see this very frequently, not always, but very frequently when you're dealing with even just normal sloping, normal support and resistance levels, but especially sloping support and resistance. The market will do that, it will trigger those people in, and then it will reverse and make the move that you were looking for. Really, the only way to sort of combat it is to know what you're doing before the market starts doing this. So as we went over, the market was testing at this level. And what I said was, really, if I start to see strong closes up above the previous key swing points, that would really be my sign to get out of the trade a little bit earlier, and, cut your losses, basically. And then what that means is, as it's spiking up like this, as we're getting the very strong tests, there's nothing for me to do. And inside your head, it's still saying, oh, this is going to break out, you're going to have a loss, this is absolutely terrible. That's what goes on inside everyone's head when they're trading. But you've also got the other side of your head, which you have created rules for. And it's testing at this level, sure, but I know I'm not coming out of this trade unless it starts to get this strong closes up above the previous swing. Because that would really be your sign that potentially the trade that you're looking at is the confluences are starting to break down and it's not really, or the reasons are not really there anymore. So you come out of your trade. But what it stops you doing is making sort of impulsive decisions. Just because, this candle here at, what are we at, 1040, when this was spiking up, it looked incredibly bullish. And it's very easy when you see this to just want to come out of the trade. By having rules and by knowing what you're doing before the market starts to get to those levels, it helps you a lot. It gives you something to follow rather than having to trust your own response when the market gets there, because your own response when the market gets there almost always is going to be emotionally based. You just can't help it. You're risking money. Your mind doesn't want to do the correct thing. Your mind wants to always do the incorrect thing, unfortunately. So yeah, you just want to sit with your plan for the trade, basically, either in your head or beside you, and then you just follow that plan. Okay, so we've had pretty strong bullish movement here. Still testing at sloping resistance. At present, I'm still happy to be in the trade. I am looking for it to break down, give a more solid test of these levels down here. We will see how we get on. I don't want to give it too much maneuvering room now that we've came back down and retested, because this is a proper test now at this support level, and it is a potential support level, so there's the potential for the bounce to come in. But what I'm looking at is really the structure levels. It's not given a lot of structure on this move down or this move up, apart from when we get back down at these levels and this swing point. So what I'm looking at is, if we're testing support, it's likely that we will see a test of the key levels before the real buying pressure starts to come back into the market. So we'll see how we get on. We've already had the press down to test. Really, I'm looking for the rejection to come back in pretty quickly now on the FTSE. The market has broke back down toward the target, so I'm just watching it now for a potential exit. If we do spike down, really 5.5 to 6 points would be near this level of structure. I would just take that as the profit target. As we've been coming down, once again, what you can see is really, instead of making that part of the video on this section of price action, I should really have waited, because it did the exact same thing here, and it did it in a much stronger way. You know, we had the strong break up, we then had the candle right here. This candle looked like it was making a very bullish move, because when it opened, it put in the rally. So what you're looking at is potentially the market breaking out of sloping resistance, just closing up above, and then the bull's starting to step in. And what it's doing is the exact same thing that we went over here. It's getting rid of the short positions, it's triggering in the breakout traders, and it's also some of the traders who were short and who closed have then gone long because they're annoyed and they want to catch the position. It pops up, it rejects, and it comes back down once again. It happens over and over and over again. And what you can also see is, as we came down here, we had a bit of a pin bar for a potential buy position. And what you're looking at when you get something like this is, you're looking at the overall market rather than just the pin bar. So for me personally, using Zone Trader, the way I would do it is, with this one, I would really be looking at this whole section here. A very, very flat section of price action. It's a potential resistance level because the market's been holding on it before we broke down. I don't really want to buy straight into it. If that's not there, I'm really going to look at the next swing point, and I'm going to say, if we start to see the rejections here, we've got a trend channel. Do I really want to be holding onto the position that's been making lower highs, lower lows continually? It's been holding in the trend channel. No, I don't. And I just play it cautious, and I would just come out of the setup. So yeah, we're just coming down toward the target level. We've got the trade open. I've also actually extended the recording for the last few sections. Sometimes I forget to have it open fully, because when I'm making other videos, I just record the chart section. But I've opened it fully just so we can have everything on the screen. 5.5, 6 points really. I'm just going to close it out. Hopefully we can break down on this candle. We're testing at 5 to 5.5. We are just coming down onto the level of structure. Now, especially after this strong rejection, I would expect it to pop down and test into this level, so I'm pretty happy to hold on to it, looking for the extra point at present. Okay, and that is the trade now closed out for profit. It's 11:40, so going to be all finished for the day. Actually worked out quite well, because I'm probably not going to be able to do a lot of trading this week, unfortunately. I really wanted to get the live trade video done and out for you guys. I like getting them out. I like, talking with some of you in the comment section, seeing what you guys think. But unfortunately, my dog, Decisive Trading mascot, is pretty under the weather right now, so I'm in and out of the vets. I'm just not going to be able to get to the chart. It's just one of those things. Okay, guys, so as always, I hope that was helpful. I hope you're all having a really good trading week. I'm James Orr, and thank you.